In this video, you're gonna see
Tenía una pesadilla y despierto.
Number 1. A woman named Rosanna moved into a house in France, hoping for a fresh start, but almost immediately something felt wrong. Strange things began happening at night, things she couldn't explain no matter how hard she tried. Because of money problems, Rosanna couldn't move out. She is now stuck in the house while a legal case against the landlord slowly moves forward. Until that ends, she lives there alone. Every night she leaves the lights on before going to sleep, hoping it will make her feel safer. But every morning, she wakes up to total darkness. The lights are always off. She never remembers turning them off herself. Then one night, something happens that convinces her the house may not be empty.
Demain, sous l'abri du Très-Haut, repose à l'abri du Tout-Puissant. Je dis à l'Éternel, mon refuge et ma forteresse, mon Dieu, en qui je me confie. Car c'est lui qui te délivre du milieu de la peste. Loisir et c'est
Rosanna wakes up and sees a thick black fog spreading through the hallway. Slowly, it moves closer, sliding into her bedroom like smoke with a mind of its own. The moment she turns on the lights, it disappears completely. Weeks later, the situation becomes even worse. Rosanna explains that only 2 people live in the building, herself and an elderly woman who lives downstairs. She always thought the woman was strange, but never dangerous. That changes one night when Rosanna hears someone shaking her front door.
Arrêtez! Arrêtez! Vous voulez quoi? Arrêtez! Parlez, merde!
The door handle begins moving violently, as if someone is trying to force their way inside. Rosanna stays silent, frozen with fear. After a while, the noise stops, but at exactly 3:47 in the morning, it starts again. This time, she picks up her phone and begins recording, terrified of what she might see.
Je n'en peux plus. Je n'en peux plus. Bon allez, j'appelle les flics. 4h du matin. T'arrives. Elle est dans le noir. Elle est dans le noir. Je vais péter un câble. Je vais péter un câble. C'est Dieu. C'est pas si Dieu. Non, 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 non. Non, 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 non. C'est pas...
At first, nothing appears through the peephole, no shadow, no movement. But when Rosanna slowly cracks the door open, her heart drops. Her neighbor's face is right there, leaning forward from the darkness. Her eyes appear completely black, unnaturally wide and empty. Rosanna screams and slams the door shut. What makes the moment even more disturbing is the timing. The black mist, the lights turning off, the door shaking. And now this. Rosanna believes her neighbor may be connected to everything happening in the house, possibly even possessed. She says she plans to confront the woman one day, but whether that brings answers or something far worse is still unknown. Number 2. This disturbing clip was shared by a man named David. It all started when he brought an old doll into his home. At first, it didn't seem dangerous, just old, unusual, maybe a little creepy. But not long after, David began to regret that decision deeply. His nights slowly turned into something terrifying. Dark shapes would appear in his room and vanish before he could understand what he was seeing. At times, he heard a voice crying in the darkness. Sometimes it whispered names he had never heard before. The fear became so intense that David tried to protect himself. He locked the doll inside a metal cage and placed a Bible and a rosary on top, hoping it would stop whatever felt attached to it. But according to him, nothing changed. Then one night, after falling asleep, David was ripped awake by a nightmare that felt far too real. His heart was racing as he opened his eyes, and that's when he saw it.
Tenía una pesadilla y despierto. ¿Por qué me estás jodiendo a cada rato? ¿Qué quieres? No entiendo qué es lo que... Ese, el quemado. Ese. Y no sé si escucharon lo que... No entendí muy bien. Pero... algo se escuchó. ¡Ah! Ahora sí sentí mucha adrenalina. Se desenfoca. No sé qué gana, estoy escuchando música aquí de relajamiento. O sea, estaba durmiendo, ya son las, ¿qué? 4:51 de la mañana. No entiendo. No entiendo. En serio, ya no sé qué hacer. Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío.
David says the face he captured wasn't a single event. He claims it appears almost every night, watching him in the darkness. The moment he turns on the light, it disappears instantly. No footsteps, no sounds, no place for anyone to hide, not even under the bed. That's what makes this case even more unsettling. Did the doll bring something evil into his home, or did it simply trigger something that was already there, waiting for the right moment to show itself? Number 3. Late one night, a person living in the Philippines suddenly woke up to the sound of their dogs barking non-stop outside. This immediately felt wrong. Their dogs were usually quiet and only reacted when something serious was nearby. Concerned and uneasy, they slowly walked to the window to see what could be causing such panic. But the moment they looked into the yard, fear took over. Something was standing there, frozen, silent, staring toward the house. Shaking, they pulled out their phone and began recording. In the footage, a single figure can be seen standing in the yard, completely still. It does not move. It does not react. Even as the dogs continue barking aggressively, the figure remains facing the house, as if aware it is being watched. Terrified, the person does not stay to investigate. They immediately leave their home and spend the rest of the night with family members nearby. Later, they share their belief that what they saw was not human. According to local folklore passed down for generations, there are spirits known to appear outside homes late at night, silently watching before vanishing without a trace. And that night, they believe one of those spirits had chosen their house. Number 4. This old colonial house is more than 260 years old, and over time it has earned a terrifying reputation. People online now call it one of the most disturbing homes in America. What makes it even creepier is what's inside. The attic, filled with old dolls, is said to give off an unsettling feeling the moment you step near it. The owners claim the house has been active for years. Dark shapes have been seen moving between rooms. Heavy footsteps are often heard when no one else is home. Voices have been recorded with no clear source. Even their cat behaves strangely, staring into empty spaces and reacting as if something unseen is passing by. But one night, the house did something that truly shocked everyone watching.
My phone just started dying and the notification did scare the shit out of me. Just did my skincare. And I am going back downstairs.
In the video, the bathroom light begins to flicker on and off for no obvious reason. At first, it looks like a simple electrical issue, but then something strange happens. The moment the woman steps into the bathroom, the flickering instantly stops, as if whatever caused it no longer wanted to be alone. Later, viewers noticed another disturbing detail. For a split second, what looks like a face appears in the footage. It's easy to miss, but once you see it, it's impossible to ignore. And considering the long history of shadow figures, voices, and strange animal behavior in that house, even a brief image like that feels important. For now, no one can explain what was captured that night, and the footage remains a chilling mystery. Number 5. Shaw Austin is a paranormal investigator who travels to places where people believe something dark still exists. He looks for signs that whatever once lived there may not be gone. Recently, he was contacted by a family living in Conway, South Carolina. They told him their home had become a place of constant fear. Strange things kept happening almost every day. Toys would move without anyone touching them. Chairs would shift when no one was nearby. But the most disturbing part involved their young daughter. She often talked to someone her parents couldn't see. She even gave this presence a name. When the parents heard the name, they froze. It belonged to a man who once worked on the house and later ended his own life. Worried that the activity was getting worse, the family decided to place a camera inside the home. What it recorded was hard to explain. In the footage, a toy car can be seen sitting on the floor. Suddenly, it starts moving forward by itself. No one is near it. Nothing touches it. The car rolls slowly, like it's being pushed by something invisible. Then, without warning, a large picture frame falls off the wall and slams onto the floor. The sound is loud and violent. The family is already terrified at this point, but the next moment in the video is even more unsettling. Inside the dining room, a chair begins to slide away from the table. It doesn't fall, it doesn't shake. It simply moves backward, smoothly, as if something unseen is pulling it. The chair keeps sliding until it is far from where it started. At that point, it no longer feels like random activity. It feels intentional. And honestly, if that were my house, I would seriously consider getting rid of that toy and that chair immediately. Number 6. On March 22nd, 2026, a woman named Sandy witnessed something terrifying while inside a church. What happened was so intense that people nearby immediately began praying out loud. According to Sandy, she was visiting Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church during a quiet time of adoration. The priest was not inside the room at that moment. She had only just arrived and was lighting a small candle when she suddenly heard disturbing sounds coming from close by. The noises didn't feel normal, they felt wrong. Trusting her instincts, Sandy sat down, took out her phone, and began recording while whispering prayers. What she captured next left people shaken. In the video, a man can be heard making loud, aggressive noises, screaming and hissing while a group of people pray around him. When a woman pours holy water on him, his reaction becomes violent, as if something inside him is fighting back. The atmosphere shifts fast. Panic spreads through the room, and several people begin to fear the situation is spiraling out of control. Realizing how serious it looks, Sandy leaves to find a police officer and asks him to contact the priest. At first, the officer doubts her story, but after watching the footage himself, he agrees to step in and returns with the priest. The officer stays close, watching carefully in case things turn dangerous. Meanwhile, the priest approaches calmly and begins what Sandy believes was a form of exorcism. The room grows quiet as everyone watches, unsure of what will happen next.
Light a novena when this began to happen, but when I saw this man in torment, I knew that I had to sit down and pray for him too. You know that they can become very violent. So this was actually going on for about 15 minutes or so. So I ended up leaving to go to the office so that they can get the priest to come, but the office was closed. At our church, there's a school that's attached. And there just so happened to be a teacher there, and I started telling him, like, hey, how can we get a priest over here? And I was trying to tell her what's going on, and when I told her, she was like, I don't think she believed me, to be honest with you. And she said, okay, you need to go down to the office and you need to tell the officer, and they'll get in contact with the priest. And I said, okay. So I ended up going into the school, and the officer was right there, and I walked up to them and I told them, I said, there's a man that needs help. He's demon possessed. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I don't think they believed me either until I showed them the footage. And that's when they were like, whoa. So back I went and continued to pray. And literally like moments later, the officer came and then the priest.
As the man's growling slowly begins to ease, Sandy decides to leave. She later explains that she avoided making eye contact, afraid that whatever was causing the disturbance might somehow attach itself to her. Whether the ritual worked or not is still unknown. And that unanswered question may be the most disturbing part of the entire encounter. Drop your theories in the comments, like if this kept you on edge, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.